All right, so it's when we're in the studio, it's Terrific Tuesday. I don't know how terrific it is, but if we're up, we're live, we're breathing, I guess it's a Terrific Tuesday because it's better than the alternative, being horizontal. Unfortunately, over 50,000 Americans have succumbed to this terrible COVID-19 disease. And the rest of America, the rest of 350 some odd million are suffering from another disease called cabin fever. People are starting to go a little crazy. I myself went to Home Depot this morning to do a little odds and ends around the house after the show today. And parking lot was packed. Streets were packed. Everyone was social distancing. Everyone had masks on. It was a very pleasant experience. I went in Home Depot, shopped around, came out of Home Depot, paid, self-checkout, credit card, out the door, in the car, home, cleaned up, changed the clothes, all that. But people are starting to go a little friggin' crazy at this point. Now, we got a whopper of a show today for you. It's a Terrific Tuesday show. As always, streaming on Facebook. You can catch us over the weekend on Newsmax TV. But lots going on, lots to talk about. Right now, today, I'm going to lay out a simple plan for Steve Mnuchin, Secretary of the Treasury, with one simple flip of the switch from President Donald Trump. Steve Mnuchin can give every small business owner in America money tomorrow. He can give every small business employee in America a raise tomorrow. One simple trick. Four-step plan. I'm going to lay it out a little later on. I rolled it out. I threw it at Stephen Moore when he was on this show on Liquid Lunch about a month and a half ago. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We don't love doing stimulus like that. They're stimulating everything right now. Happy endings are bound for everyone except the smallest of small business who still can't get their hands on any money. So I'm going to lay out for you a simple three-step plan for Steve Mnuchin to stimulate every small business in the country. The math is simple, folks. It's going to keep running out, okay? There's 30 million small businesses, 30 million, okay? So far, they've allocated $600 billion, okay? So that means if every company gets the loan that they deserve, there's only 20,000 per people. There are companies that got 5 million, 2 million, 10 million, 50 and 100 times what we can withstand, because at 30 million businesses, if everyone was going to get treated equally, then everyone can only get 20 grand. So we're going to keep running out of money, and each time they re-stimulate, they're going to give more and more money to pet projects. My simple plan is for the president, without needing the Treasury, without needing the Congress whatsoever, to direct the Treasury to stop collecting payroll tax. So every single business owner who has to pay payroll tax right now, you don't have to pay anymore. There's a payroll tax holiday for 1 year. What does that mean? That means every single worker gets an extra 7% in their paycheck because their employer doesn't have to take that out of their paycheck. So you got a 7% raise. Then the employer has to match that amount when he makes the deposit to the Department of Treasury for his payroll taxes. So the employer gets a 7% relief. So each of them has a few more dollars in the pocket to keep things afloat, okay? Now, here's the trick, and this is simple. The government has all the technology in place. Each company, whatever they paid in payroll taxes last year, they're going to get a 100% rebate. So you paid 40 grand last year. Tomorrow when you wake up, there's going to be 40 grand in your account that you usually pay out of. We're just going to, instead of debiting the account, we're going to credit the account. And the Treasury is going to handle all the math on the back end. And they have a special purpose vehicle with the Fed right now. They can print all the money they want. So business owners get a rebate of their tax from last year so they don't have to go to a bank. There's no middlemen. There's no priority. There's no preference. There's no way anybody can cut the line. Whatever you paid last year, if you're a legit business, the government gives you 100% back on that. That's $1.2 trillion, okay? Not to mention the fact that it adds up to about 20% of the GDP, so we need that money back at some point. But right now, we've given out $600 billion, almost $1 trillion, and 90% of the businesses in America have still seen no stimulus. We can give out $1.2 trillion over the course of the next 12 months, and every single business in America can have a nice little springtime Christmas gift under their tree, and every single person who's employed in America can enjoy a 7% raise. So that's something that the president can do like this. A snap of a finger, flip of the wrist, and Steve Mnuchin, under orders from the president, can order the IRS to not collect payroll tax and then rebate 100% of what people paid last year. The cupboard is bare. The Fed is out of it. They've done their good deed for every single business, and everyone got the money. You don't need a bank. You don't need an application. You don't need anything. If you're still in business and you're not lying, you know what you paid last year, we're going to give you 100% of that back. That's a $1.2 trillion stimulus plan that the government can do in the flip of a switch. So I digress, but we'll get into all that and more. Joining me in just a couple of minutes here, Jaden Horn. He's a political commentator. He's also a contributor and writer to Metropolitan Magazine. A little later on, we're going to have a famous doctor on here. He's going to be talking about all kinds of great things you need to know about. And, of course, right here in New York, the epicenter of it all, the chairman of the Central Park Citizens Association is going to join us a little later. He's been with us before talking about the mounting homeless problem, both here and across the country. And it should be exacerbated more than ever because everyone's home. So most people, if they're actually on the street, laying on a bench, they're homeless. We got a great opportunity to maybe address it right now in the midst of this, but who knows? We will continue to breeze through all the news of the day. Nico's spinning the wheels of steel over there in the Garden State of New Jersey.